Amongst watchmakers, bragging rights rule, and none more so than the accolade of making the world's thinnest watch. It's a measure of skill, precision and ingenuity, and has been hotly contested since the dawn of watchmaking. Some of the biggest names in watchmaking, Jaeger-LeCoultre, Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, have traded blows with ever thinner watches, all bitten by the desire to have that crowning jewel to their name. But in 2014, an even thinner watch was unveiled, that wasn't made by any of those watchmakers, no. It was made by Piaget, and it's the Altiplano 900P right here, at just 3.65mm. But I'm not going to show you how thin it is just yet, because you need to see something else first. To understand just how impressive the 900P really is, let's start by looking at something more normal. This is an Oris 65, a straightforward automatic watch. It's a reasonable thickness by today's standards, with an off-the-shelf movement that's neither too large nor too small. The 65 measures in at about 12mm. To get the Altiplano's thickness, there's still some way to go. If we have a look at this decased omega movement, we'll see the biggest culprit of an automatic watch's size, the rotor weight. This is the part that spins when you move to keep your watch wound. Lose that and go fully manual wind and you'll save a few millimeters. So here we go, a manual wind zenith. If we measure it, we'll see it's about 8mm. We've saved 4mm over the automatic, but we've still got to lose over half the thickness again to catch up to the Altiplano. Alright, let's get ruthless. Let's take it a step further and take away the case. That leaves us with 5.5mm. Take off the hands and the dial and we're at 4mm. Nearly there. At this point, I'd like to remind you just how thick the Altiplano is. Or rather, isn't. 3.65mm. Look at it. That's the case, hands, dial, movement, everything. And it still even has a decent 2-day power reserve. So, how exactly did Piaget manage this? The zenith movement could be shaved a hair thinner, sure, but that still leaves the hands, dial, case. Turns out, Piaget's solution to making a whole watch the same thickness as a movement is a pretty clever one. Make the watch out of the movement itself. But what does this even mean? Well, first, the caseback on the Altiplano isn't even a caseback at all. It's actually the base plate for the movement. Piaget builds the moving parts directly onto it, rather than doubling up with a base plate and a caseback, saving a few precious millimeters. And the movement itself? 145 parts, all manufactured to fit within the height of the thickest component, the balance wheel. The thinnest component is just 1/10 of a millimeter. That's the literal thickness of a human hair. The movement, being so compact, allows for the next space-saving measure, the dial. With the wheels arranged around the edge, the dial and hands can be recessed off-centre into the empty space left behind, which in turn allows the bezel and crystal to sit lower down, screwed directly to the caseback. Sit the Altiplano side by side with the Oris, and the technical mastery really becomes apparent. You could fit 3 900Ps into the Oris, and still have just over a millimeter to spare. That's quite a lot by Piaget's standards. Piaget doesn't give too much away when it comes to the manufacturing process of the Altiplano 900P. This watch has been in the making since 1957, so it's safe to say that it's only been possible thanks to modern technology. And that's a good thing. It shows that watchmaking still has a lot to give, a lot of surprises left up its sleeve. It's especially important for Piaget because it only took 2 years, a flash in watchmaking time, for Jaeger-LeCoultre to snatch the crown back again, beating the record by a paper-thin 0.05mm. I can't wait to see what's coming next. Discover more exceptional watches at watchfinder.co.uk. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If there are any other watches you'd like to see reviewed, please let us know in the comments below.